Hello, everyone. First of all, thank you, Bianca, for letting me do this little makeup tutorial situation for the Goddess Boudoir. I am so excited because October and Halloween are like my most favorite time of the year, and it's just the best. So first, I guess I want to introduce myself. My name is Kari Nichols. I have been doing makeup professionally for about 5 or 6 years. I've worked on runways. I do weddings relatively frequently, but my love of makeup first started with special effects makeup and like spooky makeup or whatever. So I'm so excited to be able to do this and show you guys how I would do my little goddess makeup. And for Halloween, obviously, October, the best makeup to do is clearly for Hekate. I swear I might be saying that wrong, but that's okay. We're gonna go with it. Okay, so in order for me, like keeping this whole theme in perspective or whatever, my plan is to give you like a vampy, sexy, smoky eye situation. This goddess is known to be carrying torches, so for me that's warm colors, so I'm going to kind of go in that realm. And I think we're going to do a dark vampy lip, because for me nothing screams spooky sexy more than like a bold eye and dark vampy lips. So I'm trying to make sure I have everything here, but that's what we're gonna go with. So the first thing I'm gonna start with, I already moisturized my face. The first thing I'm gonna start with is a primer. I'm going to use the First Base Makeup Primer by Lime Life by Alcone. It's a spray. It's going to help your pores look a lot smaller. It's gonna make that makeup sit flawlessly on top of it, and it's just gonna be beautiful. So that's what we're going with. I give it a little shake first, make sure all the ingredients are well combined, and give myself a little spray. There we go. This stuff feels so good. So good. All right. Now, from here, I usually start with my eyebrows. Where is my eyebrow brush? Perfect. Okay. So from here, I usually go with my eyebrows. For me, that sets the tone for the rest of my makeup. And usually when I go with these darker, vampier looks, I do my brows darker. For me, my hair is already kind of dark up top. My natural color is really dark, as you can see from my brows. So I am going to go with black. It just seems to work better for me when it comes to these eye looks. So I'm going in with, it's called Dial It Black. It's not going to focus. Cool. But we're going to go with that. And I just use an angled brow brush. This has a spoolie on the end. So go in here. And I know a lot of people, my mirror is over here, that's why I'm looking over this way. I know a lot of people prefer to use like a pomade or a brow brush, or not a brow brush, a brow pencil. But for me, I have relatively dark, thick brows as it is, and I just feel like a powder works better. But that's all personal preference. I will say though, if you are going for a dark, vampy look, to potentially just do your brows a little darker than usual, because it will still keep them like a focal point, and I think everyone's brows should be. So that's where we're at. You guys might see movement in the back. That is my cat being a little crazy butt. Here we are. I'm just gonna go through here, fill this out real quick. And they don't have to be like super perfect, because you can carve them out with concealer or foundation or what have you. So just fill this in, and then when it comes to like this inner part, like you guys can see, this is kind of haphazard. I just go in and I brush it out with the spoolie. Whew, I need to trim my brow hairs. They are out of control right now. So we're gonna go in here and kind of just make this like an even blend. Go in, brush them out. There we go. They're looking pretty. It looks so much different on camera than it does in real life. What the heck? Okay, I'm gonna fill this in a little bit more. Brush it out. I always like going in and brushing them out afterwards just to make sure that they're soft, not too harsh. You don't want like Sharpie brows. So that's where we're at. It looks pretty decent. Okay. This brow is just, this is the one that goes to yoga. This is the one that's like pulling all-nighters. So that's okay. We'll go with it. Okay, so from here, because I'm doing dark colors, I really want to work on my eyes first. That way, if there's any kind of fallout, which luckily I usually don't have issues with, but if there's any kind of fallout, then afterwards I can go and wipe my face down a little bit and it's fine. Hunky dory. That way I'm not messing up my entire base and having to redo it. So I'm going to go in. This is a concealer. This is a cream concealer, which a lot of people are kind of afraid of, and I just really love the payoff it gets. And then this is just a makeup sponge. I'm going to go in and I'm going to tap this on my lid. And you really just need a thin coat. What this is going to do is it's going to give you a slightly tacky base for any eyeshadow to sit on top of, and it's going to take out any discoloration you guys have in your eyelids, so you can see this eye clearly looks more perfected than this eye. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to do this side, and do this real quick. I don't know about you guys, but for me, unless I'm doing a look that requires like, you know, latex and mineral spirits, that's not the word that I'm looking for. But unless a look requires a lot of like intricate detail or whatever, I like to do my looks quick and as easy as possible because as a mother, I don't always have the time that I want to dedicate to my makeup. So doing it quick and efficiently really helps to make it happen. So here we go. So since she's known for her warm colors, I'm going to start with this orange color down here. It kind of reminds me of fire. And we're just going to start here. So I'm going to take this on like a fluffy pointed blender brush. Make sure that I am all, where did my sponge go? Right here. Make sure that I have as little creasing as possible in here. Once the shadow is down, it won't crease, which we love. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to place this color down. This has eyeshadow on it from the other day, and that is not good for me. Okay, so I'm going to take this. Actually, this is a color switch, and when you use this, it's kind of, I don't know if you guys can see, it's like a stippling sponge. This is also like a really often used sponge in special effects makeup, but you can use these to knock off all of the excess powder on your brushes. You just, one of these things. So, we'll try this again. I'm going in with this orange color again. We're just gonna rock it in the socket. That's like my favorite phrase when it comes to makeup. Rock it in the socket. And I'm going to do it on this side, and then I'm going to blend it out afterwards. So we're going to set this in here. Need a little bit more on this side because I went a little ham bone on the other side. Whew. Okay. So once the color is placed, I like to take the same brush and I kind of swirl and blend upwards. For those more dramatic looks, you can really take this far out, far up. You can go all the way up to your brows, drama. But for me, I'm gonna bring it, I don't know, we'll see what happens. We're just gonna blend and go with it. I think we're gonna go right there for now. We'll do the same thing on this side. If you're finding that the shadow isn't blending like you want it to, you can take a lighter matte shade, like, let me see, something like this guy right here. It's not gonna focus, right there. It's like a bone color. You can take that and kind of blend it together, and that should really encourage the shadow to blend a little more. But I'm just gonna add a tiny bit more orange to it and kind of force it up. So make sure they're kind of even, mostly even. Okay, so from here, I'm going to take a tiny bit of this color. This orange color looks totally fine by itself, but for me, I like building dimension in my shadow. So the more layering, the more color mixing you do, the more you're gonna get that effect. So I'm gonna take this pink color and I'm gonna do the same thing. And this is just going to enhance that orange color a little bit and give it a little bit more zhuzh. And I'm not going to take that blend up as high, but I am going to blend it quite a bit. So there we go. Do the same thing on this side. And generally, like, if you sit in front of the mirror and practice makeup a little bit, I've walked out of the house looking like a fool plenty of times, but if you sit in front of the mirror for a while and you like practice your makeup skills or what you're going to do with your makeup and this, that, and the next thing, and you want those dramatic looks, the more you do it, the easier it's going to get, for sure. Looks like this now, I can usually get done in like 15 minutes, so it's pretty good. Okay, so now we're going to go in with this orange color. It's a little bit darker. It's going to build a little bit more depth in the eyes, and I'm going to work it in that same exact area. This is a lot of repetitive steps with different colors. And again, I'm not going to bring this up as high because I'm really trying to enhance the shape of the eye before we go in with an even darker color to make this a little more dramatic. So here we go. You guys can see the difference. Like this, it's okay. This would be really good for like an everyday, like basic look, but when you add this extra layer of color and depth in, you're really gonna get that va-va-voom. I also kind of placed this on like the outer, I don't know, probably quarter of the eye, just so that I can kind of close the eyes off a little bit. So here we go. Do the same thing over here. we like this? I think we like this. Okay. So from here, I usually like to, when I'm doing a dark smoky eye, I usually like to place like a gel base, like a dark gel base. But I found this trick the other day and I really like it. So I am taking, this is a waterproof eyeliner pencil. I'm going to take this and I am going to stamp this at the base of my eye, like right in that lash line, like that. And then I'm going to take, this is a bigger makeup sponge, but I'm going to take this and I'm going to blend this out before the color sets. So these eyeliner pencils, the Enduring eyeliner pencils, the color sets in like 15 seconds, so you kind of want to work quick. But what this is going to do is it's going to give you a dark base for a black to sit on top of. A lot of people, when they're using like black eyeshadow, the color ends up fading throughout the day. So this is going to help prevent that from happening. And it's going to make that color stay poppin'. So I like to go in, I kind of layer it up a little bit. And that's that. It doesn't need to be extreme. What I'm looking for when I do this is when my eye is open is the majority of the area that I want to be dark covered. And in this case it is. So that's what we want. I'm doing it on this side. Does anyone else have issues when it comes to their left eye or their non-dominant eye when you're doing makeup on it? Because for me, it's like torture, kind of. Which really sucks because, like, my left side is the side that I take the most pictures of. Okay, that's what we're going with. We're just going to stamp this out. I hope my contact doesn't move about too much. I'm going to blend this out, and the reason I'm not doing that, the blending out with a brush, is because most brushes that will get this done, they have to have stiff bristles, and for me, I just don't like the feeling of stiff bristles on my eyes. It's kind of pokey, and I don't like that, so we're just going to use the sponge and get her done. I needed to come in on this side a little bit more. And there we go. So we're smoky, we're vampy, we're getting it done. Okay, so from here, whew, it is warm in here. Okay, so from here I'm going to go back in with that black shadow. This is the same one that I used on my brows. Excuse me. And I am going to go in with another brush. Where is my brush? Excuse me. Okay, I'm just gonna go in with, this is an angled shadow brush, just the black color once again. Get it on here, and I'm going to pack this in. For black shadows, again, a lot of the times they like blend out, they'll look gray after a while. We don't want that. So we're gonna just pack this in for right now, and we'll blend it out shortly. So packing it in. Pretty good. Okay. So then I'm going to take the same brush. I really feel like I have a little minion in here that's like constantly taking my brushes and hiding them from me. We're going to take the same brush that we did all of the orange colors with, and I'm going to tap it very, very lightly into the black, and we're going to blend this a little bit. So for me, I don't like going too crazy with this, but I do want there to be like an even blend. You guys can already see on this side, it's a lot softer. This side, it just looks like I put a bunch of black eyeliner on my lid, which technically I did, but like we don't want it to look like that. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to blend it out. And if I need to go back in, I'll go back in with the angled shadow brush and tap it in just to make sure it's all even. So we're going to do the same thing on this side. And just blend it out. And just make sure we have soft edges up in here. And grab this again, tap it in, and do a tiny bit more blending out. So like for me, I don't know if you guys can see, this kind of breaks up a little bit. I don't want that, so blend it. All right, so for me, I have no fallout. I look really tired on this side of my face, but I don't have any fallout, which is great. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to start working on the base of my face. I'm going to use my foundation. This is my favorite foundation of all time. It's the Perfect Foundation by Lime Life. The coverage on this is just out of control. So this is the large blenderful sponge, and I'm just gonna start tapping this in. I like to use my makeup sponges dry. I just feel like I get a better effect from it. Some people like them damp. Do you, boo? Do you? Where you guys can see the coverage of that is just out of control. So I'm going to tap this in. This is almost an identical match for my natural skin tone, which looks way redder on camera than it is in real life. So I guess you're just going to have to trust me on that, but I always suggest blending down the neck a little bit just to make sure if there is any kind of line, like slight discoloration from your foundation to your natural skin tone, you don't have that line of demarcation. So tapping that in. There we go. You guys can see this half face. I don't have any concealer on over here, but that's just the foundation, which is so crazy. Okay, so I'm going to go back in. I'm going to work on this side. I'm just going to tap. Make sure I got my nose. Make sure my nose ring doesn't fall out. Need a smidgen more for my 5 head. All right. So that is the foundation laid down. And afterwards, I'm going to go in with just a big, fluffy, I don't even know what these are called. It's like a kabuki brush, but these bristles are really loose. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to tap this out. What this is going to do is if there's any other like sponge marks or anything like that, it's going to get rid of them. I just prefer to use the sponge initially for the coverage that I want. If you're really into your sharp carved out brows, which I already said that I'm personally not, but this would be a good time to do that. You can use like a concealer brush, which I don't even have one right out here right now. But that's always an option. Maybe I do have one. Let's see. I don't, but we'll use this. I'll just show you guys as an example. Stay there. Okay, so I'm going to take, because this brow, again, it's doing its own thing. I'm going to take a smidge of my foundation. This is actually a really small eyeshadow brush. But I'm just going to go in and kind of erase my mistakes up here, try and even it out a little bit. Now you could do this with a concealer, but this foundation has so much coverage that I can usually get away with just doing it this way. Pretty good. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with my concealer. Again, this is the same concealer I used on my eyelids. I'm going to use the same little sponge, and I'm going to tap this in under here and blend this out. Usually when I do this, I place with the sponge and I blend it out with a brush. I just like the way that it looks that way. So we're going to do that. Make sure that I get enough down here to make it look like I've slept, which I feel like doesn't happen very often. I'm going to put a tiny bit on the tip of my nose to kind of highlight, and right on the bridge of my nose. It looks crazy right now, but we're going to get it. And then a tiny bit on my Cupid's bow. So from here, I'm going to take a buffing brush. This is a foundation buffing brush. And I'm just going to work those hard edges out. Do the same down here. I'm going really light-handed because I don't want to move everything around. Do the same thing over here. And down my nose. So we just got rid of the harsh edges and any demarcation lines. So that's what we have there for now. Then I'm going to use, what is this? This is the Jeffree Star Star Powder. I think that's what it's called. This is the Fair color. And I'm going to use a tiny little brush like this. And I'm going to take some of this and I'm going to set under my eyes. So here we go. I really like using a loose powder for this. I just feel like it melts into the skin really nicely. The rest of my skin, I mean, my whole face is super dry. So I usually don't have to set the rest of my skin, but this area I definitely do. Right on my chin, I definitely do, like right in whatever we call that. And right next to my nose, like right here, my little smile lines. Perfect. Okay. So now we're going to work on our lower lash line. And I'm going to take that same black eyeliner and I'm going to work on my waterline. So I'm just going to kind of, flip this down a little bit and work this in here. If you already have small set eyes, you might want to consider doing a white or a nude in this waterline because it's really going to open your eyes up. But I feel like I have enough real estate in the eye department where I can really close these bad boys a little bit. So that's what we got. Super easy. And then I'm going to take a small shadow brush and I'm going to get rid of what was on it. Obviously, if you're using your own makeup brushes and sponges, it's usually okay to use the same brushes for about a week, but then you want to wash them. These I've used for about a week, so tomorrow is bath day for them. So I'm going to go back in with this orange color. This is that light orange color. I'm going to blend this into this lash line. So with this, that black is going to kind of smudge out a little bit. And it's going to give you a really nice fade. So we kind of want some drama up in here. So we're going to kind of blend this out quite a bit. I usually place with a denser brush. And then I'll go and blend out with a looser brush on the lower lash line. Make sure they're even. So this is just a blending brush. I'm gonna blend this out and see where it leaves us. I kind of like this look so far with how this is blending out, but we'll see. It looks so crazy not having the rest of the face done, and then you just see like these really bold eyes. So we're gonna work on the rest of the face for now. And again, just like your brows, it will determine if we need to go deeper or darker or what have you. Or more blended out, that was the other word I was looking for. So I'm gonna grab my bronzer palette right here. And for me, I'm gonna use this color. It's like an ashy taupe bronze. If you have deeper skin tones, highly suggest going deeper on that, but I am not, so here we go. So for contouring in this bronzing situation, for me, you guys can kind of see it right here. I already have like a natural divot in my chunky cheeks. So I kind of work based off of that. But if you don't have that, you can always suck in your cheeks a little bit. And you want to go from like the top of your ear down. You don't want them to connect, but you want that to be like the general guideline. So I'm going based off of this guy. And I'm going to circle-y, blendy. Circle, blend. And I've noticed for me, with people who do a lot of flash photography or what have you, going a little heavy-handed on the makeup really works out well. Because with the flash, you know, it kind of blows out what you're working on. Or what you have on, rather. So I'm going to take that. That's really dark here. We're going to blend it. It looks crazy right now. But I bring this up here into the temple area and across the forehead up here. We're just cutting it back a little bit. And I'm going to do the same on this side. For me, this has become like muscle memory. I could probably do it with my eyes closed. So we got that on this side. We're going to do the same over here, do the temple area, and go across. There we go. I'm looking like I have a little bit more face. And then I'm going to stamp this like right under my chin. This is going to hide any extra shenanigans you got down here. So we're gonna blend that out. Do it on this side too. You can really like customize your jawline with this too, which is nice. But I just want this little piece to go away. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, so this looks super harsh right now, which is great. But I'm going to take this now that it doesn't have as much product on it, and I'm going to kind of wiggle it back and forth. And you guys can see like right here, this went down. So you guys, if you don't want that, you can always go through with the powder again, this powder, and kind of carve that out. Some people do it, some people don't. I don't usually, but I'll just show you guys how to do it. So you take your powder. This is on a little sponge. This is the same one I use the concealer with. I need you to come out this way, guys. Okay. So you take like a little bit of powder and you just, you know, draw you a line. It's like a magic eraser. And what this is going to do, this is called baking. And essentially the heat from your skin is going to set this powder down and make it so anything between that and the powder don't go anywhere. And it's going to give you all of these sharp lines. It's gonna be beautiful. Come on, powder. There we go. Make sure you guys can see it on camera. There we go. You guys cannot see this one as much, that we're gonna do that too. Okay. They look pretty even. So we're gonna let this sit while I do my blush, and then we'll go through and we'll wipe the powder down, get it out of here. I feel like I got more powder on my jacket than I did on my face. Okay. So now I'm going to go in with a blush, and I'm going to use this bad boy right here. It is so bright and it is so beautiful. So it looks super duper intimidating in the pan, I will admit it, but once it's on the face, it's gorgeous. So I'm going to take this big fluffy brush. This is going to distribute the product really well, and I'm just going to do a few little taps. You guys can see it's on there. Tap a little bit of the excess off, and I'm going to tap it into place. Okay. So we're looking a little cray-cray, but that's all right. We're gonna get rid of the excess powder on here. Use my color switch once again. And we're gonna blend this out. This looks so much more dramatic on camera than in person, and I love it. I love it. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same on this side. We want to get rid of those harsh edges. We want to look glowy. I look crazy on camera, but in person, this looks so flawless. But that's okay. I'll show you the trick for this. Okay, so now that that's on and I look crazy on camera, I'm going to take the sponge that I did my foundation with, and I'm just going to tap this over. My other cat is at the door meowing to be let in. And I'm going to, once again, do a little bit of sandwich work and kind of sandwich that bright color between some nude pigment. So there we go. That looks a lot better. And then I'm going to take, this is another fluffy brush. My nose itches. Every time I do my makeup, my nose itches. But I'm going to take this brush and I'm going to dust this powder away. And this side too. Dust it away. And itch my nose. Okay. So now I kind of want my nose to kind of come back into, there's a knot, kind of come back into real life. Since we kind of hit it a little bit with all the drama everywhere else. So I'm going to take, you could do this with your bronzer color. I don't like doing it with my bronzer color just because I feel like that's too warm for like a shadow on the center of my face. So I'm going to use this color right here. You guys can see it's very well loved. It's called Taupe for the Best. And I'm going to use like a flat shadow brush. Tap the excess off, and I'm just going to stamp this down like so. And do the same thing on this side. And I'm going to kind of cap my nose down here. And once again, this looks very, very harsh at the moment. But we are going to soften it up. Make sure that I have the color where I want it. You can always bring this up into the brow and kind of solidify the shape. But that's usually pretty good for me. And then I'm going to take, this is the same brush that I use the loose powder on, and I'm going to just blend it in. There we go. Look, I have a nose again. Okay. So the eyes look great so far to me. Personal opinion. The face looks pretty gorgeous. We have lips to do still, but I kind of want to bring a little bit more light into the eye area. So I am going to use, I haven't used this before, so this could be a mistake, but I'm going to use this champagne, what do they call it? Perfect Glow Drop. So I'm going to put a tiny bit on my hand, hopefully. I feel it coming. Okay. A tiny little dollop. And I'm going to take it, I'm just going to use my finger first, which is like always risky because of the nails. I'm going to put this like in that inner corner area to really bring some light back into the eye. I feel like I should actually do this with a brush. That's like the fun part about makeup is like trial and error. So I'm going to use the point on an angled shadow brush. I'm going to tap it in here. Beautiful. And this is really just going to bring more attention right to the eyes because they're shiny, and who doesn't love shiny, right? So we got that. That's gorgeous. Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing. This time I am going to use my finger because it's a bigger space. And I'm going to hit this like highlight area right there and right here. And I'm going to blend this out. This stuff is gorgeous. Ooh. I may have found a new favorite product. I love when that happens. I'm just realizing that this line underneath my nose is still pretty harsh. All right, that's better. All right, and I'm going to take a tiny bit of this still. I'm going to tap it on the tip of my nose and right on the bridge and right on the Cupid's bow. Beautiful. I love that. And it feels so nice. It's like silky. I love that. All right. So from here, I want to throw on some lashes. I need something. Okay, so this stuff is really cool. My friend Lindsay Ann has this stuff. It's called Transfiction. And basically this is like a lash glue / liner all in one. And it makes putting lashes on so unbelievably easy. So I'm just putting a line of this on my lid. Make sure completely covered. Okay. Awesome. And then these lashes, I don't even know what the exact style of them is, but they are from Allure. And they're beautiful. I don't even have my tweezers. I'm really like, oh, they're right in front of me. This is so silly. Every time I do my makeup, this is how it goes. Okay, so I'm going to take my tweezers and I'm going to set that as close to the lash line as I can and kind of adjust the edges, make sure they're all down. And look at how quick and easy that is, guys. Like, that stuff's insane. Just make sure they're all down all of the way. Awesome. I'm going to do the same with the other side. And kind of this lash on. This stuff is really nice too because there's like legit no dry time. Like you can put the liner on. I can't even function right now. You can put the liner on and put lashes on almost immediately after. So there's like no dry time. You don't have to wait for it to get tacky. Nothing like that. It's just good to go right out of the tube. We did something crazy over here. I'm telling you, this left lash, this left eye, the left side of my face. There we go. Okay. So we're all on now. And then I'm going to go in with my mascara. I'm going to blend these together. A lot of times, if I plan on reusing lashes, I'll do mascara first, but these lashes are like so dramatic and not my norm that I probably will not use them again. And if I've used a pair of lashes like too many times, I'll just put the mascara on afterwards. These guys are just giving me all kinds of hell today. This one doesn't want to stay on. I'm telling you, these like dramatic lashes are always a pain in the butt for me, but I feel like for October and the Halloween season, they're almost necessary. You could totally get away with a less dramatic lash. But here we are, drama. All right, I'm back. I had to take a second to get that lash figured out. We got it figured out. Okay, so from here, a little bit of smudgy smudge under here. Okay, so from here, I'm going to go right onto lips, and then we're gonna set it, and we're gonna be all good to go. So this is the lip liner I'm going to use, and I think I'm going to pair it up with Cocotini. I think these colors together might work really well. The other option I have is Devil's Food. Maybe I'll go with Devil's Food, actually. Okay, so this color is called Cocoa. I love these lip liners. They're self-sharpening, so you always have a really fine point. And the way I like to do this is I start at my Cupid's bow and then come up and then go down. So go here. And here. So we have like a little baby mustache. And I'm going to start here and come up. And on this side also. So we have a top lip. And then I'm going to go from here to the center and here to the center. There we go. So this is just like a really thin line, but I like to go through and thicken it up a little bit. And you could, with these colors, because they wear really well all day, you could go through, fill your entire lip in, and top it with a gloss, and then you're good to go. Okay, so there we have that. That is cocoa. That is beautiful. This color gives me like 90s pop star vibes. So I really like that. And then I'm going to go in with Devil's Food. And this is a liquid matte lipstick. I love it. And there we go, guys. Super quick and easy. I mean, I've been on for almost an hour, so maybe not quick, but super easy. Once you get the hang of it, it goes by so quickly. And that's that. So I'm going to spray it. This is Oil Strike makeup spray. This is going to really hold all of that makeup in place. And there's that. So from here, if you wanted to embellish your face with other like knickknacks or what have you, you could totally do that. I've done pearls on my face. I've done gemstones, glitter. I've put tattoos on, you know, that whole thing. Or you could just top it with a little hat, you know, get a little witchy, spooky season. There we go. We're getting a real saucy and sassy up in here, so that's all I have for you guys. If you guys have any product questions or anything of that nature, feel free to reach out. Hopefully we can get some contact information up in here. But yeah, that's that. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you enjoy the rest of your October, and I will talk to you guys later.